All right, let's talk about leg day. For as long as I can remember, squats have been hailed as the absolute king of exercises. But what happens when you're over 50 and your knees, well, they just don't agree with that? Today, we're going to explore a much smarter and way safer path to building strong legs that actually protects your joints.
And this quote right here, it just says it all, doesn't it? I mean, what's the point of building muscle if you're just wrecking the very joints you need to, live your life and stay active? This idea is the bedrock of everything we're about to dive into. So here's the big mindset shift we need to make. We've got to move away from that old school belief of just loading the joint, just piling on more and more weight and pressure. The smarter goal, especially for us, is to build up the muscles that support the joint. It's like creating a natural muscular brace for our knees.
Now hold on, we're not here to cancel squats. They can be an amazing exercise for sure, but if your knees are already feeling a bit stiff or creaky, forcing them into that deep, loaded squat position over and over again, it might be doing more harm than good. We're looking for better options that build strength without all that strain.
And this, right here, is where we find the answer. It turns out the health and stability of your knees are almost completely dependent on the strength of your glutes. It makes sense, right? When your hip muscles are strong and firing properly, they basically control your whole leg, which takes a ton of stress off the poor knee joint.
Let's get specific and talk about a real MVP here, the gluteus medius. Just think of this muscle as your body's own personal knee stabilizer. If it's weak, your whole pelvis gets kind of wobbly when you walk, and your knees end up taking on all this extra, uneven pressure. Honestly, this is one of the biggest culprits behind knee pain. Okay, enough of the why, let's get to the how. It's time for the practical stuff. We're going to walk through 3 super specific exercises that are designed to wake up and strengthen these crucial supporting muscles. This is how you build a rock-solid foundation for your knees. First up, we have the clamshell. Now I know what you're thinking. It looks ridiculously simple, but please do not underestimate this move. It is a precision tool designed to hit that key stabilizer muscle we were just talking about, that gluteus medius.
So why does this tiny movement pack such a punch? Well, by strengthening those stabilizers on the side of your hip, you're making your entire pelvis more stable every single time you take a step. That means less wobbling around, which means way less direct grinding pressure on your knee joints. Plus, your balance will thank you.
Okay, let's nail the form. You're on your side, knees bent up. Now keep your feet glued together and slowly lift that top knee up. The absolute key here, the biggest mistake people make, is rolling their hips back. Don't do that. You want all the movement to come from the side of your hip. You'll feel it. Then lower back down with that same control. This is all about quality. So, what's the magic number? You're aiming for about 15 reps on each side. And when I say slow, I mean slow, nice and controlled. Let's shoot for 3 sets. Just remember, it's that control that's building the strength, so don't rush it.
Awesome. So, we've woken up those important little stabilizers. Now let's bring in the big guns with our second move, the donkey kick. This one is all about targeting the bigger glute muscles. The powerhouse engines that actually drive you forward. The logic here is pretty straightforward. The stronger your glutes are, the more they do the heavy lifting when you walk, stand up, or climb stairs. And that means your knees don't have to pick up the slack. You're basically taking the pressure off the joint and putting it on the muscle, where it belongs.
To do this one right, get on all fours. Keep that core braced and your back nice and flat. As you push your heel up, I want you to use this amazing visual cue. Imagine you are trying to press your footprint onto the ceiling. At the very top, pause for a second and give that glute a real good squeeze. Then lower back down slowly. It's not a race to see how high you can kick. For this one, your target is going to be somewhere in that 12 to 15 rep range for each leg. And again, 3 sets. But listen, if your form starts to get sloppy just to hit 15, stop. Quality always beats quantity.
All right, for our third and final exercise, it's time to get on our feet. The lateral band walk is where we take all that strength we've just built and we teach it how to work in the real world. This is where it all comes together.
You know how sometimes you see people walk and their knees kind of collapse inward with each step? That's a huge source of knee pain. Well, this exercise is the perfect antidote. It literally trains your hips to actively pull your knees outward, keeping everything in perfect, stable alignment while you're moving.
Let's break it down. Pop a resistance band right above your knees. Get into a mini squat, like an athletic stance, Now step to the side, and here's the secret sauce. You have to keep tension on the band the entire time. Never let your feet get so close that the band gets loose. You should feel a serious burn on the outside of your hips. That's the good stuff right there.
Your mission here is to take about 10 to 12 slow, controlled steps in one direction, then repeat it on the way back. That whole thing is just one set. We're going for 3 sets, and trust me, you are going to feel those hips working.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What does all this add up to? Well, changing your approach isn't just about making your knees feel better tomorrow. It's about investing in a future where you can move with total confidence and freedom. And this right here is the real prize. When you focus on supporting your joints, instead of just loading them, you're building a body that's truly resilient. Yeah, you get less knee pain, but you also get better posture, way more confidence when you move, and, most importantly, the freedom to stay active and do the things you love for the long haul.
The best exercise in the world is the one you'll actually do consistently and without pain. So, now that you've got these 3 powerful knee-friendly moves in your toolkit, there's really only one question left. Which one do you